guys, Comic Boom here to review Grant Morrison's Green Lantern #1. Guys, it's finally here. Green Lantern Space Cop. Grant Morrison has been this has been advertised all over the place. Grant Morrison is a very divisive kind of writer. He's very hit and miss. He's very controversial. And yet he's got a lot of fans. He's also got a lot of apologists that will love his stuff no matter what he writes. I personally am very hit and miss with him. But I gotta tell you, I found this very refreshing. Here's the thing about Green Lantern, guys. I got a bias when it comes to the Green Lantern mythology. I'm not a fan of the emotional spectrum, okay? I'm not a fan with blue rings, green rings, purple rings, blah, 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 blah. No, I believe in one ring. One ring to rule them all. You know what I'm saying? One ring, green ring, willpower. That's what I'm into. Maybe having the Sinestro Corps is kind of cool, but I wasn't a big fan. I'm not a big fan of having every single color under the sun. And I love the idea of sort of returning the Green Lantern mythology to its roots, and that's what it appears that Grant Morrison has actually done on his Green Lantern run here. I believe it's going to be 12 issues, or at least it's set up for a 12-issue run. Who knows, maybe it'll be longer, but I don't believe it's set to go more than that. And it's the idea of sort of returning Green Lantern. He's basically a space cop. Now, one of the things that what I find refreshing about this is that it's not the same old that Green Lantern has been written the same way for going on about 10, 12 years now, where every issue, whether it's Green Lanterns or Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, or Green Lantern, or whatever it was called before in various incarnations over the last 12 years, going back to Jeff Johns, the focus was always on the Corps. That was really always the focus. So the focus on, there were always like an army of cadets and their training, and it was almost like very militaristic. And the fact is, for me, I always thought that was a little crazy, because my conception, this is my bias, my conception, the way I always viewed the Green Lantern universe was that there's one Green Lantern for each particular sector of the galaxy. So one Green Lantern is so powerful with a ring that you got to patrol hundreds of thousands of planets in your sector of the galaxy, and you might be responsible for trillions upon trillions of lives. That's how special being a Green Lantern is. I don't like this idea of, everyone and his dog, they start gets a Green Lantern ring. It's ridiculous. I don't agree with that. I like the idea that here's Green Lantern, and right away, Grant Morrison here, he establishes right out of the gate, we're introduced to basically a Hal Jordan who's basically a loner, man. I mean, he's even got a girlfriend, and it's not Carol Ferris. There's some deviation from continuity here, because the previous Green Lantern run, which ended the Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, it ended with him getting back with Carol Ferris, or at least it appeared that way. That's not the case here. He seems to have a girl in every port, I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense. Hal Jordan, he loves the stars, man. He's a Top Gun kind of guy. I always viewed him as sort of like the James Bond of a Star Wars-like universe, being the Green Lantern universe. So I love the idea that he's going from planet to planet, and he's galaxy to galaxy, and he saves lives, and he helps people out, and he knows multiple languages through the ring. And I love that interaction. And I've always viewed being a Green Lantern as being somewhat of a loner experience. Like that you spend the vast majority of your time by yourself fighting aliens all over the galaxy, particularly all over your particular sector. Now, what I enjoy about this, first of all, Liam Sharp is the artist here. And those of you who don't know, and if you don't know, you've been sleeping under a rock. He drew Brave and the Bold he wrote and he drew Brave and the Bold with Wonder Woman and Batman. It was a beautifully drawn series. It suffered greatly from the writing. Liam Sharp he still needs to work on his writing, but artistically it was beautiful. And fortunately here, Grant Morrison's doing the writing. I say fortunately with a little bit of a caveat, because there's some hiccups here in the writing. Now, the art here is fantastic, and I'll be showing the arts as I'm going along here in edit. When I'm editing this, you'll be seeing all kinds of images on the screen. It starts off with talking about, it shows different Green Lanterns from all over the galaxy. This one by the name of Maxim Talks. He's the Lantern of 2018.2. That's the sector in the galaxy. Galaxy Sector 2018.2, he's engaged in combat. And there's also the Flusel Phlegm. That's a Green Lantern that's actually a virus. He can actually infiltrate an alien life form's bloodstream and cause some damage there, even without the bloody ring. So I love the fact here. What Grant Morrison does here, he does one thing here that's very, very interesting. He gives you a very strong sense of the fact that different aliens speak different languages, and they can't always communicate very well with each other, and you get a sense of the alien-like adventure of what being a Green Lantern would be like. Because especially within the second and third pages, you really see you see alien life forms communicating with each other, and you've got no idea what they're saying. I mean, clearly they're speaking in a different language, and I'm not even sure what exactly they're saying, but it's sort of, you get a sense, you don't get a sense of what they're saying per se, because normally when writers write Green Lantern, the ring translates what everyone is saying. And so the writers just automatically, presumptively, have everyone, they tell you in English what's being said, and you assume that the ring is translating it. And sometimes they make that obvious, sometimes they make it less so obvious. But frankly, that's what's going on. There's a constant universal translation going on because of the Green Lantern rings. That is less the case here on different portions of the book. And I kind of like that in the sense that it sort of heightened the fact that this is really, I've never read a Green Lantern comic book and felt so alien before. I really felt the alien nature of what it would be like to be a Green Lantern. And that was just primarily from the dialogue and the language. And Grant Morrison did a surprisingly good job on that. Most of the time, if I feel lost when I'm reading Grant Morrison, it's usually because of high concepts or something that I'm not quite getting. But in this case, it actually was to great effect. That the language and the dialogue, while it was a little bit out there, it sort of heightened the idea to me that what I didn't understand, I could almost, it was a good thing that I didn't understand it, because I felt it was part of the mystery of the story, of trying to understand the vastness of the universe, these various universal races. And basically, Hal Jordan is basically called in to basically help out some other lanterns. And I'm not even going to talk in large part about the story itself, because I want you guys to pick this up and discover for yourself whether or not you enjoy it. One of the lanterns I actually have, what are the odds that I would have one of the lanterns is called Crystalline, and he's actually in here, and I think that's Crystalline. I can't believe I found a Crystalline figure. I actually have Hal Jordan in Crystalline. Who would have thought? I didn't even know. I had this figure. I didn't even know what it was until I saw it in the comic book, if you can believe that. Apparently that's Crystalline. Kind of a goofy looking thing, but yeah, I don't know. But I think that's him, and I think he's in the comic book. But anyways, he looks a little different there, but he's in the comic book. And I gotta say, overall here, I'm really impressed. I like the fact that Hal Jordan, he's on Earth here, and he's sleeping with a different woman, and he's sort of a wanderer. I mean, his job is to be a space cop. That's really what he is, and he's got a space cop of life sort of existence. He goes wherever he's sort of told. The Lanterns send him on missions, and it just so happens he gets sent on a mission here. But in the meantime, he's sort of in the desert on Earth, and he's on a date and being intimate with a good-looking blonde here, whose name I suspect is largely irrelevant because it's Hal Jordan, and that's just what he does. Where is Carol Ferris in all this? I don't think Grant Morrison cares, and frankly, I don't care either, because I kind of like this idea. This is Hal Jordan. This is the way he's got to be. And maybe this is out of continuity. Maybe it is. I don't care if it is or not. I find it refreshing. I love it. And I particularly like the fact that at the end here, guys, we get some teasers as to what's coming up, and we know that it looks like we might have some Dark Stars coming up, if those are Dark Star-like characters, or if not, I'm not sure what they are. And we've got Green Arrow's going to be making an appearance, and what I really love about the Green Arrow appearance is that it sort of reminds you of in the past of the Mike Grell, the classic Green Arrow series, that classic series where either... reminds me a little bit of Longbow Hunters, the style, but also the Neil... I can't remember the name of the artist. my God, I'm gonna put it on there in text because I'll in post production there and in edit I'll put it up there. But it's great to see Green Arrow back because it harkens back to the days of Green Arrow and Green Lantern having an earthbound adventure maybe, and it's gonna be it's really great. The coloring here, the effects by Liam Sharp, really great, really good. There's a weapon here that appears at the end. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but it's very interesting that we have an antimatter lantern, and there's a luck dial, and there seems to be almost like a dial H. Is it a dial H for hero dial? That's involved here, along with a weaponeer and an antimatter lantern. I love this, and I'm gonna read this multiple times. I only read this twice, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to do this review and give you a sense of why I like it. It's just fun. It's epic. I'm gonna read it a third time because it just seems fun. I really like this. Sometimes with Grant Morrison, you know, when you get to the end of his stories, you don't always understand it. There's not always a payoff. And the good news is that here in Canada we had marijuana legalized, so I could probably get high if I really wanted to. Maybe that would help me better understand the story if I am confused. But so far so good. I'm actually enjoying it. I'm reading it with the cap on, the shirt. I got the action figures. I even got the rings, but they're downstairs. This is good, guys. Pick it up. I didn't give too much away here. I'm just happy with the way this has gone. This is a breath of fresh air, and it's another hit for DC, I think. And even if it isn't, the art by Liam Sharp is well worth picking up and taking a look-see, all right? So in the meantime, guys, tell me what you think of the first issue of Green Lantern, and hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at Metropolis40. And until next time, Comic Boom out.